Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. So, last we left off, we had failed to apprehend a spacecraft that jumped away from us that we were pursuing. However, we did manage to get one of its guards, so I've ground him down and we're now back at base. Well, I wouldn't really call it a base, I'd call it the wreckage of a ship. For some reason the fire alarm has gone off. I'll be back in a second. Okay, turns out that fire that just happened was a hoax. The fire alarm just went off for no reason whatsoever. If it goes off again, then I might get worried. As I was saying, I've reconfigured the engines on the attack drone so that they are now in line with the craft instead of sticking out. This means that we've now got a flat surface on top and a flat surface on the bottom for whatever we may need. For instance, I may reconfigure the front and have the rocket launcher down here on this level, and then have the camera behind some bulletproof glass so that the camera doesn't get shot out, because the camera's right at the front and it's very fragile. So again, that's something to do later. But we've got a very annoying Argentavis. If I just access the drone, go to remote control, go to camera, hopefully I don't kick myself using this, we can zoom in and see the enemy ship there. He's just strolling through. We had one ship come near. It was a Gatling platform, and I fired a rocket at it and it died. The way that things should work in this game. But I moved my two defense ships, because they have defensive capabilities, away from the wreck, because I don't want the wreck to get hit and then explode for some reason, because there's a lot of hydrogen there, and the ship that I did blow up was on fire. It was kind of a ball of fire that just went across the area. Right. So, depending on what this Argentavis actually does, and please correct me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Yeah, that was a bit of lag. He spawned a barb. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remote control the drone. Give me a second. We might actually be able to recover this one if I don't decide to fire a rocket at it. Right. So, I need to turn on Gatlings, and I need to remote control the drone, because that's the one I'm using for combat, because it's built for combat, whereas the private sail isn't. I just need to quickly check the inventory. We have 6 missiles. That's it, by the way. I've got 50 ammo containers for the Gatling gun, and I've installed some more reactors, 2 more to be precise, so we shouldn't have any problems. Now we can zoom in, we can see what this barb is, if I can actually do anything. Tab, and then we can see it's heading straight towards us. I don't know which one it's going to head straight towards, but yeah. If I had a long-range weapon I could just destroy this thing, but no. The limit of weapons in this game is 800 meters. Well, the vanilla weapons anyway, which are the ones we're using. So once this gets within 200, and in fact I'm going to head downwards, just checking downwards. I'm going downwards, so it's actually heading towards me. Yeah, I'm trying to lead my shots here, and I want to fire a missile. When it gets in 800, which is about now. There we go, direct hit. Turn off. Go to the private sail. Turn off. Right, we've now got a wreck for us to inhabit. Oh, there's a mining carriage right next to the pirate ship. That's interesting. I think a mining carriage is a... There goes the wreck. It's not smoking ball of fire that its predecessor was, but at least that works. Yeah. So the useful thing about this drone is that we can use it to spy on things. So we can see what this mining carriage looks like. This looks like a very similar ship, one that we tried to steal but got away. Now, the bad thing is the enemy is going to jump away before I am able to disable it. Jumping away is what I mean as despawning. So instead, we need jump drives so that we can jump to it to give us more time to capture it. And I'm thinking we build a dedicated combat frigate that will have a jump drive and refining things and cargo holds that will jump towards it and then start taking out its turrets using turrets and missiles and everything. But I'm going to need to design that, and we're going to start doing it this episode. Unless I ooh. Oh yeah, I kind of scraped the solar panel here on the wreck of the red ship, so it's a bit damaged, but it's fine. I think it's probably fine. So we're going to need to start designing, and one thing that we should do is actually head back to the red ship, because I'm going to be using the wreckage of the red ship. Well, I'm going to need to use its resources. Now, whilst I have quite a lot of resources on the private sail, there's going to be the large reactors and the hydrogen thrusters and the regular thrusters and the solar panels and the oxygen farms that we need to use. So I'm just going to move in and then flip around, and we're going to attach this thing to the asteroid. So we're kind of making the asteroid our permanent, well, our semi-permanent base right now. Just need to control the other one, get camera, smile for the camera, and get back. So I'll be back in a second once I've got a sort of scaffold ready for building our attack ship. Okay, so I've decided on a basic design. It doesn't look like anything, but it's all theoretical. So now that I don't have any blocks in front of my face, so the main design is going to be focusing on this rectangle. It won't look like a cuboid. There. Let's start that again. The main design is on a cuboid. No, it's not. Yes, it would be a cuboid because that's a three-dimensional. Yes, a cuboid that goes across. Now, it's not going to look like a cuboid to end with, but that's the plan. It's probably going to have some sort of design on the front. It's going to have smoother edges, things like that. And it's going to have some detail. But basically, the main structure of the ship will be a cuboid that goes back some distance. Inside the cuboid will be a hangar, a very small hangar for like a drone or two, a drone, attack drone thing that I can remotely pilot. Oh, I found out how to remotely control a turret, as in a Gatling turret, when you're not on the ship and using an antenna and remote control. The ship that you're on also needs a remote control, so need to keep that in mind when I'm building. So yeah, this will go back however long. The front section will contain a drone hangar, which will have a hangar with a drone and possibly a projector and some welders to be able to weld up new drones if I need them, and also a connector system so that I can keep everything in the same place. The next, and actually this cuboid may expand a bit so that we have some room on the floor to be able to do things. And so after the drone hangar, there's going to be, oh, by the way, this isn't the floor, by the way. This is the floor. That's just something to measure length. After that, there's probably going to be either the cargo hold or the refinery. We're basically making a new base, by the way. We're merging the private sail and the red ship so that we can create one ship that we can use, which will also have combat capabilities and heavy armor. But that's expensive, so we'll just use light armor to begin with. So we'll have cargo hold, we'll have refineries, and then we'll have kind of living quarters, medical bay, and then above that we'll have a bridge section that sits like here, so that we can see. It's going to be a very shallow bridge section, so it's not really revealing. And then we'll have engine nacelles, or we might have some other way of getting engines, but engine nacelles are something that looks cool, because this is basically something that needs to look cool, and then I will add the ability for it to actually do something later, though plan for the thing that it's doing, so I don't do something stupid. So we need to define how long the drone bay is. So this is the end of the drone bay. This is the front. This is the front. This is the functional front of the ship. There's going to be additional stuff. This. Oh God, what the? Ah, that's building a station. Yes, 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 yes. That makes sense. This is technically a station, by the way, because it's attached to a asteroid. Anyway, stop waffling. We need to measure the length of the drone, and then we need to add some more leeway in order to see how big the hangar needs to be, because it's only going to fit one drone, and it only needs to fit one drone. There's only me, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So say blocks long, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks wide. Okay. So basically, and it's 3 blocks tall. So we have 5 blocks tall, 7 blocks wide as the space in the hangar. So it might work, it might not, but the drone will fit there. We might not be able to have the auto welders unless we use nanite factories, but we have lost that technology and therefore won't be able to use it. What's over there? Asteroids. Okay, so it needs to be at least 10 along. Yeah, 10 actually will do, because we can extend it this way. I'm going to go with 11 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So here is going to be the end of the drone hangar. Drone hangar is quite long, but it will contain other things apart from the drone. It will also include a way to get in. We'll possibly have like a force field door or something, because everyone enjoys force field doors. So basically, in between episodes, I'll make sure the superstructure is actually finished, so we have everything that we need. This is just planning. Okay, now the next thing. Since this ship is only going to be my first run of making a combat ship, I don't want it to be able to produce every damn thing in the universe. That will be for another ship that we will have as a fleet, but we're going to need some assembly capability and some processing capability. So I'm thinking 2 refineries or 4. They take up a 3x3 by 6, is it? 4. I keep forgetting. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 3x3x4 area. 4 of them will take up a 6x6x4 area. And we don't have that kind of space, which is annoying. However, this is a 3x2, which means that we could have some of them not have upgrades. Alternatively, we could just go with 2 refineries. Okay, 2 refineries, or we could increase the size. Yeah, let's do that. So we go up to here. Here is where the original superstructure is. We add one. What's that? Commercial freighter. Don't care. Or you might correct me that I might want to care, but I don't anymore. So we can keep it like this. Probably expand it a bit more, you know, because it's got to be aerodynamic for no reason whatsoever. Add one more, is that right? That's 4, that's 3. Okay, good. And then this needs to be an extra 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So this is now the actual size of the ship. So we'll go along. We'll have refineries, 1 in each corner. So there's refinery here, refinery here, refinery here, refinery here. They will have, depending on what they are going to process, we're going to automate this thing. We want some of them faster, some of them more ore efficient. So we've got to keep that in mind. So those will go on for about 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, because they're going to be at the end. So this is the end of where the refineries are going to be. We then have some cabling room, because obviously there's going to need to be some. And then we need some room for assemblers, and they are too long. 1, 2, they're too long, and then we can add modules to them whenever. And I'll add 3. So give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There's the end of refineries. We have some cabling room, and then 1, 2, 3. Ignore the neighbours, if you can hear them. If you can't, that's amazing, because they are being pretty loud. Anyway, so that's assemblers done, and then we need cargo room, which we can do pretty easily because we can all link it up. and that should be good. No, we don't need cabling room. We don't need cabling room. Why do we need cabling room? That's a good question. Yeah, we can have assemblers here, and then cargo here. That's fine. Right, what was I worrying about? Nothing. Okay. Right, so let's knock it off here. That's the end of the refining zone, and that's pretty good. And they will stay within the same kind of structure thing. Now, the only problem is, I know how to do the midsection of a ship. That's fine, but I don't know how to do the front or the rear. Kind of weird. Because the front is the thing that you're looking at when it does a flyby, and everything just looks rubbish when I do it. However, if you look at the rear, that thing's also going to be what you're looking at in a flyby. You're not going to be really looking at the centre, and the back's got to look, you know, good. That's going to be confusing. Okay, yes. So I have got to design the rear. That's going to be fun. So let's add, for the sake of getting everything ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the habitation area. 7 for habitation, is that going to be enough? Yes. Or at least it will be. And then we can clear it off here. Okay. This is going to be the rear of the ship, and then we'll have nacelles on the sides. Oh, it's going to look like something out of 2001, except, you know, thicker and, I don't know, more guns on it. Right. Last thing. So, I've got to demolish the red ship, which is going to take a goddamn while. I'm probably going to need to create a smaller grinder ship that I can use to dock to the private sail, wherever that thing is. Over there. Yeah, so we could what are you doing? You're not working properly. Right. Thank you. We can I need to build a grinder ship, a salvager that will fit onto the private sail. That should be able to hold some inventory space, and hopefully I can, you know, waste it again. Yeah, and then I just need some way of welding this that doesn't, you know, make me go insane, because that's going to be painful. Yeah, I'll work more on this design, and then we'll be back next episode where we will either be working more on design or we'll be pirating, whichever is correct at the opportune moment. Until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.